Hello, welcome back to the Oakland A's UK YouTube channel, and welcome back to our mini-series where we're reviewing the A's free agents to be for the off-season. We looked at the star at the back end of our bullpen, Liam Hendriks, in our last video, and now we're going to turn to three other reliever arms, TJ McFarland, Joaquin Soria and Petit. We'll have a quick look at TJ McFarland to start. He was a guy who we signed last off-season and inspired in part by the new 3-batter minimum rule that was brought in for their 2020 season. As a left-handed pitcher, he's better against left-handed hitters as per usual, but he's decent enough as a reliever against righties that you don't just have to play matchups with him all the time. His role this year was as the second lefty behind Jake Diekman, and he performed that role pretty well. Whether we'll bring him back is an open question. I think if we can get him on a modest deal, we may as well. If other teams are more keen to sign him, then I suspect we'll let him move on and find someone to replace him. It's a different story with our two experienced right-handers, Joaquin Soria and Petit. Now, they've always been linked in my mind, even though we signed them one season apart. And the reason for this is they're kind of atypical A's signings in that we went out and paid fair market value for good players, which even with relievers is the sort of thing the A's tend not to do. The A's signed Soria to a 2-year, $15 million deal in December 2018, and as for Petit, he signed a year earlier on a 2-year, $10 million deal, which included an additional 2020 year option of $5 million that the A's were more than happy to pick up. Soria would send you into a bit of a panic every now and then, but by and large he was a real quality setup man and also somebody who had good experience as a closer, so could step into that role if Liam needed a rest every now and then. Meanwhile, Petit was the absolute model of consistent quality for the A's. He led the team in pitching appearances in each of his 3 seasons, and it wasn't just him taking the ball constantly, it was pure quality when he did so. Over those 3 seasons, his ERA 2.73. The only knock against them is their age. Petit turns 36 on November 22nd, Soria is already 36 and will turn 37 next May. So, where do you go with that? Normally, you always want to be careful with pitchers, particularly relief pitchers. You don't want to go 1 year too long with them. However, they've been so consistently good for the A's that why wouldn't you want to bring them back and at least take that chance on them? That's particularly the case if you think that Liam Hendriks may be moving on and potentially one of Soria or Petit may move on. You'd surely want to try and keep one of them if at all possible. So what do you think? Should we bring back one or even both of Soria and Petit, or should we say thanks a lot for your great service and move on? And how about TJ McFarland? He played that second lefty in the pen role well enough this year, so do we try and bring him back again, or again do we look elsewhere? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, we'll be feeding them all in to our A's UK podcast coming up soon. I'll be recording that with Hannah and Dom, looking at the A's off-season plans.